Friends, hello. Welcome. Virtual Strangers 188 is on the air live. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. I don't even know what day it is, bro. I normally recite the date. I don't know what day it is. Do you have any idea?
It is the 28th. It is, time is
28th.
flying. Every time I turn around, this is my fear, Wes. And it's a rational fear, I know, before anybody says anything. I'm going to go to sleep tonight. I'm going to wake up. Summer's going to be over, and I'm going to have missed it. I'm like, fuck, man, time is flying by so fast. I've been waiting for the warm season. I'm ready, except for it does make VR a little bit less desirable in my hot room sometimes. But I've just been ready. I've been so sick of the cold. I'm sure everybody is, right?
It's been pretty nice here. I'm more of a fall. I'm an autumn guy. I like it when it's pretty out, but not like overwhelmingly hot. So I've been kind of dreading summer because I know it's going to get up in the 90s and it's super humid here. So not my favorite.
Yeah, no, I love we have such awesome weather here. I love it. So, but I was going to ask you, Wes, did you sell your PS5? I saw somebody in the comments asking.
Yeah, it's over. It's all over,
It's
man. It's done. That they showed nothing during the showcase, so it's pretty clear at this point that Sony doesn't care about VR, and it doesn't matter that Jim Ryan came out last week and said that they're going to support it both in the short and long term with titles. He's just lying. So yeah, you're right. I sold it.
It doesn't matter that Resident Evil Village was like the best game I've played in VR, and that Gran Turismo 7 is amazing.
Those games don't count, Roots. They've been out for 2 months now. Those don't even count anymore.
What have you done for me lately is basically the name of it. I don't know, man. I'm more apt to sell anything that's Xbox related than Sony these days. But that's just me. You can call me a Sony fanboy or somebody that loves exclusives.
I didn't sell my PS5. I traded it for an Xbox.
Oh, yeah. Xbox. Yeah, the new one. The one that gets the new games to 30 frames per second. Really pushes the boundaries.
Game Pass, bro. But Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass. Yeah, no, I'm not selling my PS5. So that's what I was saying. I was just playing some Cosmodread earlier, and I've been playing some Zombieland Fever. I'm really enjoying that game. I feel like I'm getting better, Wes. I realized I don't know what I've been talking about. You're playing under Lethal Weasel. I'm playing under Virtual Strangers. So
I keep telling you that to talk to me when we get off the air, and I'll tell you how you can play the games under your own account. We just can't do it at the same time. But I never remember to tell you. If you go into the settings on your console, go into the Virtual Strangers account, go into the accounts. I forget exactly which section it's under. It's something about accounts and sharing. There's you can set the console as your primary, and it works just like the Quest does. If you set it as your primary, everyone on that console can play the games on your account. So that's how I do it. My console set to the Virtual Strangers primary, and I can log into my account and play all the games. You can switch it back and forth as many times as you want, and just so long as we're not trying to do it at the same time, we can all play those games on our own account.
It's kind of nice though to be able to go onto that account and not have to worry about whether somebody's logged in or not, because that's
true. That
one of the things that sucks about Steam Family Share is like you go to log into a play, especially because I like to do it before the show. I don't like to play a game 3 or 4 days away from the show. I want it to be a fresh my thoughts. And then I see Eric's in, and I'm like, oh fuck, man. And then I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till Wes, later, and then Wes gets in, and then I'm like kind of scrambling. And we always say, well, we'll just go offline, but we never do, myself included, because it's just one more friction thing. But yeah, I guess it would be good. And in general, I almost bought the game. That's how much I'm enjoying it. I really do think the PlayStation VR2 game version is superior in a lot of ways. I was just noticing even just the between rounds, you're getting ready to go in and the trigger's loose. And then as soon as you're getting ready to go, the game's getting ready to start and load in, you can feel the tension of the trigger. And just little things like that. Everybody that says, oh, I love immersion and everything has to be perfect and they have to physically turn in their play space. But those things don't matter. That's why PlayStation VR2 is, and why I would never get rid of the PS5 right now, because even games like Zombieland that I have on other platforms, they're not as good on those platforms as they are on PlayStation VR2.
Yeah, man. I was going to wait to get into it, but since we're on the topic, we might as well get into it now because a lot of people might have confused my, I don't know, disappointment with the showcase the other day as a lack of enthusiasm for the platform and just giving in and saying all the naysayers were right. That's not my sentiment at all. When Jim Ryan says he's going to support the thing with software through the mid to long term, I completely have faith in that. I know that the games are coming. My frustration comes from just kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt for so long,
Right.
expecting something this week because it makes the most sense for something to be shown this week, and then not getting it. I don't know what they're doing anymore. Like, there's always been this kind of, since Jim Ryan took over a few years ago, there's been this kind of debate going on whether they're holding out or they're just not good at marketing. And I'm starting to think maybe they're just not good at marketing, man, because it wasn't just PSVR that was kind of slighted. That whole showcase was devoid of first party Sony titles. And it was like a glorified state of play. Like, we want to see what Sony's working on. All these third party partners are great. And to be clear, I loved just about everything they showed for VR in that showcase. But I want to know where the Sony title's at. Where are those IPs
Right.
at? I know they're coming. Why aren't they showing them yet?
It is weird, and there's a lot of conspiracies and different things out there. And it makes you wonder too, because it seems like if you step back and you look at gaming as a whole, because I follow everything, I like to play everything. Like, every market is doing weird stuff. PC is just, every release one after another is garbage. The optimization sucks. Xbox comes out and says, "Hey, guess what?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Have you
Lord of
seen
the
that?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings." And the dev's like, "I'm sorry," and people are like, "I don't give a fuck. This game sucks," right? And Xbox comes out and literally says, "Hey, we suck." Like, it's like, what is happening, Wes? Like, I feel like it's collectively throwing in the towel almost. I know that's not happening, but like, it's just very bizarre.
It's weird, right? It's like, it's almost like Sony knows that they have no competition right now. So fuck it. Who cares? The people are going to buy our shit anyway.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it
Yeah.
seems like.
As long as we get it, that's fine. But yeah, it's very disappointing. How many shows do we have to do in a row? And it doesn't matter if it's what platform. We think, man, this is it, dude. They're going to do this, and then nothing happens. I guess the only thing that was actually accurate was, seemingly anyway, I guess we won't know for sure, but, all the talk about Quest 3 and all that stuff seeming to kind of flesh out, right?
Yeah. Well, it's starting to come together now. We're heading into the Meta Gaming Showcase this Wednesday. And I'm starting to get more excited for it now. Someone from Bloomberg got their hands on a Quest 3 prototype this week and did an article on it. By the way, while we're talking about Bloomberg, why don't we go ahead and kick them one more time? Because Sony published their sales figures for PSVR 2 this past week, and they're double what Bloomberg said they were. So go figure.
Yeah, double and way more than, it's funny. It's just funny how fake news creeps into everything. Just tell me what the truth is. I can handle it.
But with that said, magically, these people who constantly put out hit pieces on Sony's VR got a preview with the Quest 3 prototype this past week, and it looks pretty exciting. What they're saying here. Now, obviously, they're making this to be affordable, so we still have the cloth head strap, but they're saying that it's much thinner, much lighter. The controllers aren't going to have rings on them anymore. Now, whether that means that they're full-on pro controllers or not, we don't know. But what we do know is that according to this gentleman, Alan did the article. This gentleman from Bloomberg, apparently the mixed reality support on the Quest 3 is far superior to that on the Quest Pro. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, I guess it's pretty cool unless you bought a Quest Pro. That probably sucks for those people.
Especially if you paid over $1,000. If you paid the premium price
Right.
for it on day one. I don't know. This is the thing. I question. They said they're not sure if Quest 3 or the controllers are going to be tracked or not. Right? They didn't see. I guess they're not. There was no cameras in them. I thought that's what they said. Right?
Yeah, that's what this article says. It makes me wonder what these little nubs are on the front of the picture of the controllers that they put out here. But there are ways around that. I mean, one of the early Pico headsets had like this electromagnetic tracking that doesn't even use like visual tracking, and it's pretty accurate, and it works. You can include it from the headset and it still tracks perfectly. So there are ways around that. If there aren't any cameras in the controllers, to me that just says that they're using some other kind of technology. Surely they're not dumb enough to put out controllers that can't be tracked through space. That would make no sense.
Well, I don't know. How many times has it happened and how many headsets? Shout out to Brad Lynch, to Brad. Sadly, it's Bradley. He's all over this article, right? Which he should be.
Every hardware article has Brad's name all in it.
Oh,
If you haven't noticed.
well, even the AI is best friends with Brad, if people don't know, which is super cool. Chat
Yeah, they're
GPT.
tight.
First,
They're tight. That's right.
first name basis.
But I bet the AI talks to Brad because he lives in his headset anyway. So
That's
they can just
true.
poke
Well,
around.
how cool would it be if you could set? I don't know. That's one of the things that I think is the coolest about like AI, Chat GPT type of things. Is kind of like what that person did with the Skyrim mod, where
Right.
the AI you can have a conversation. Can you imagine actually talking to the NPC and like developing a relationship with them? I don't know. I think it actually kind of sounds creepy now that I say it out loud, but it'd be pretty cool.
Friend Mickey's getting started already. Arizona Sunshine Steam key in the chat. Roots, I've been thinking, man. Like it's been a while since we played Arizona Sunshine, um and there's a little bit of hype for it now with the sequel coming, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Might be a good excuse to get back in there and stream it one more time. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, check it out. I know I was talking to Dee about that. I guess she said she played some of the original. I don't know how far, but it's been a long time, right? And be very good for when the new one comes out to be able to compare to.
Yeah, exactly. Refresh it in people's minds. Have a whole generation of VR gamers that have since we've covered that game, and no one's covering it. So I'm sure now that we've said it, someone will probably beat us to it because I'm not going to have time to stream Jack this week, dude. I'm flying out in
Oh
two
man,
days to
how cool,
California.
dude! Well, if anybody needs to be there at those type of things, it's you. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get to see my friends again for first time in a few months, and I'm excited to be on the floor out there. I'm going to be on the floor at AWE when the Meta Showcase happens. How cool is that?
That's super cool. That's awesome.
Very much looking forward to it. A ton of shit to do. So why don't we waste no more time and say hello to our friends in chat. Mickey Barrios going 2 for 2, dropping a Budget Cuts 2 Steam key in the chat. What's up, Mickey? Busy. What's up, Guido? Hussein X is with us as well. Techno Glitch is here. Techno Glitch said that he got stuck. He was playing the High on Life VR mod, which I did this past Friday. I streamed it for almost 4 hours on our channel.
Oh God,
I had a blast, but he said he got stuck when he got Gus, the gun whose name is Gus, and I did too. Techno Glitch, and what happened was, as soon as you get it, it goes through like a little training phase where it asks you to use the vacuum feature on the gun, which allows you to suck enemies towards you. Well, when it's asking you to do this, it locks all the other functions that you have on the gun. It wants you to do the thing it's asking you to do, and the button just doesn't work. Like you pull on the left trigger and nothing happens. And since you can't, do anything else with the gun, you're just kind of stuck in this area. And I had to end my stream there. But I have a theory, Techno Glitch, as to why it's doing this, and I could be wrong. I don't think it's locking your whole controller. I think it's just locking that left trigger, and I think there might be a reason for that. And the reason is this: um, one of the functions in the game is to pull the left trigger to aim down sights, and that function didn't initially work in the VR mod. So I'm thinking that there's a possibility here that Luke Ross just removed the binding for the left trigger so that people wouldn't be trying to do that and doing something that doesn't work. You get a little further along in the game, you realize that there are more functions for that left trigger and you get stuck. That's my theory on the subject. I haven't reached out to Luke Ross to ask, but someone might want to so that we can finish our game. Roots, I had a blast playing High on Life. That shit is funny as hell.
Yeah, I was planning on going on into it a little bit before the show, and then had all sorts of shit happening, so didn't get a chance to go into it. I still need to get in there and
It's cool. It works great. I put some tips on the Discord, how to kind of tweak it and get it in just right. So, maybe it'll save you a little troubleshooting there. But eventually we got it dialed in and it looks really good. I mean, it looks better than even a typical Luke Ross mod. If you get the settings dialed in right.
oh, nice.
At first it looks the same, like it's kind of shimmery, little low res. But if you know how to set the settings right, it gets super crisp and runs pretty well.
It's like the Hogwarts Legacy. It's all about
Right.
changing that number for the resolution, and if once you change that, it sharpens everything up, and most
That's
of the
right.
in-game settings don't matter.
Right. But in this game specifically, and maybe others as well, you have to be sure to put it on windowed mode, not
Mm,
windowed full screen. If you put it on windowed full screen, it locks you into widescreen formats on your resolution selection. But if you put it just on windowed, it unlocks all those square resolutions, which you
right.
need for optimal VR support. So I eventually figured that out, and the game went from looking just like a typical Luke Ross mod to looking like a flat game in VR, which is the goal, right? That's what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it as funny as you thought it was going to be, dialogue
Dude, it was
wise?
hilarious. The tutorial is just hilarious because they throw you in like this retro game called Buck Thunder 2, and the tutorial voice, the narrator that's talking to you is your divorce lawyer, and the object of the game is your wife is cheating on you with an alien, and it turns out the alien is a part of a hive mind, so she's actually cheating with all of them, and you have
Mm.
to kill them all.
You know who that sounds like to me, Wes?
My
Oh
mom!
yeah, maybe it is my mom. That's crazy.
But it's funny, man. It's funny. You go through the thing, and I don't want to spoil it. You all should play it. It is an expensive game, though. I thought we might be able to catch it on the sale where it's been out for a little while. Nope, nope, not at all. I was able to find like a key on a key broker and save about $10 on it,
Yeah, that's
but
about it.
it's still. I mean, it's a $60 game, so I mean,
It's
it's an
worth it though,
expensive thing.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely, it's great, and we'll probably, unless VR blows up while I'm in California and we have all these crazy games, I'd say we'll probably be getting into Atomic Heart not long after I get home. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. See, I don't know too much about that game. I just know that it was came out a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's a fairly recent game as well. Yeah, it's still new. Although you can find keys a little cheaper for it, 40, $45 for that one.
Yeah, this one's the High on Life's a little bit more high profile. The bad part is it was just on sale like a month ago or something. As people were talking about,
The
they
good
should have
part
picked it
about
up.
it is when they announced Atomic Heart, they announced it as a VR game, and then they dropped VR support halfway through development. So now we get to play it in that way, which is really cool.
The way it was designed originally, right?
Yeah, exactly. D-Real says they play a full movie from the 90s in the house. That's true. This legless alien that you meet that reminds you of Lieutenant Dan, he goes back to your house and chills while you're out killing people. And he's watching this movie. It's like a legit, full-fledged movie from the 90s, and it just runs on the TV the whole time.
Unless
It's
you can just
hilarious.
watch the whole movie.
Yeah, you can sit on the couch and watch it. Like literally, you can hit a button to sit on the couch and watch the movie.
That's crazy. Can you do it with
Um,
multiplayer? Bring a friend? No, just kidding.
I wish. I mean, we could if who was it? Raiku Parda. Raiku Parda is working on a utility that makes I think it was either all Unreal games or all Unity games multiplayer. So
Jesus.
you could, I mean, you can't really like both play the same game, like single player games. You can't play the same campaign, but you can see where each other is at in the game and talk to one another as you each play your single player game, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
But Steam wouldn't list it. They wanted to make it like something like a utility that you could download directly from Steam, and Steam wouldn't allow it. So, if this ever is to become a thing, we'll have to download the mod from, I don't know, one of these other third party sites and install it like it's a mod.
And Steam's like, nope.
Space Denizens in the chat, he says, "You mean I get to sit on the sofa next to an alien and watch TV?" Yeah, and there's a blonde chick there with you, standing up behind you. Although she's your sister in game, so I guess that you don't want it to get too weird.
Yeah. Well, this is it's an alien Lieutenant Dan. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's a very alien Lieutenant Dan. Chris9989 is with us as well. Technoglitch asks if I tried playing on my G2. I did not. I didn't even try it. I thought, what's the point in wasting my limited time in seeing if it might work? I stuck to my Rift S for it, and it ran very well. Looked great too, by the way. Well, Roz is here. I guess I might as well just start all over again because we got on a whole different tangent there, and I don't remember who I've said hello to, except for Mickey Barrios. What's up, Distracted? Good to see you. It says, I've had nothing but faith for the past 2.5 years. It's been a long wait for us PSVR loyalists. I'd be lying if I said that faith wasn't starting to wither. This was meant to be the one. I agree. This is my take on it. My faith is not wavering at all. But I'm not going to argue with people anymore. I can understand when someone says, Roots, that all PSVR 2 has is a couple of great games, but a bunch of quest ports and scary games. I mean, how do you argue with that? I mean, even the games they showed at the showcase are awesome, but they're all zombie games, man. Like they're all either horror games or zombie games, which is great for me. But somebody like Radio Runt probably wasn't digging it too much.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. Like if you already own a lot of games like these quest ports, then it's hard to say, okay, I want to buy them again. I didn't buy Zombieland Headshot Fever. I've thought about it a couple times. I want to own it myself. I like the game enough to buy it myself. I just haven't yet. And I have access to it and I've played it. It's definitely the better version for so many different reasons. And
everything we've played's been better.
I can say that for Tetris Effect. I can say that for almost every single game, right? But it's hard to say, okay, these are games that you already own. Like some people don't want to buy it again. And so like they need those Sony first party titles. Absolutely. And like you said, we know people out there. They're not telling us details, but we know there's big titles out there that are just waiting to come out, and they're waiting for something. And I don't know.
And and we could keep speculating if you want, but what's the point at this point? What do we know? We said that it was coming this week, and this is leaving us with egg on our face. So when we say, okay, maybe they're waiting for the holiday season, I mean, that makes sense, but so does, showing some stuff off last week. So what do we know? Maybe they're waiting for 2025. Who knows? He said it wouldn't be this year or next year that the future of VR would be coming. Little did we know that he meant that quite literally.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's up, Traveling Man 3775? What's up, Brandon? What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Boognish66 is here. Says, I wasn't too disappointed with the showcase, but I kept my expectations really low. Yeah, I loved it. I loved pretty much everything that they showed in the showcase for VR. And we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff today. What's up, Wolveraza? Spry Guy, happy birthday. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Island Kara is here. Says, apparently we don't have enough zombie games. Apparently not. Looper is here. Yeah, he's a good point. Says a bunch of quest ports like Red Matter 2 and The Walking Dead's Retribution.
It's not even that it's just a bunch of quest ports. It's a lot of games that already exist, and people want new shit. And they want new shit that's going to take advantage of this hardware. And like I said, for some people, if they already own Red Matter 2, if they already own Zombieland, or whatever the game is, it doesn't matter how good it is on the PlayStation VR2. They're not buying it again. And so
Bad
for those
Robo's here.
people, what's that?
No, I was going on. I thought you were done. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all right. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Bad Robo's here. He says, "Fuck Atomic Heart. The game was funded by the Russian government, and part of the money goes to the Russian government." Well, we certainly stand with Ukraine. But if we buy the game from a key broker, then none of them get the money anyway. So
That's true.
fuck them. We get the awesome game, right? Um, Travel Man 3775 says, "I've been eating a huge salad since the show started." You know who else loves to toss salad?
My mom!
Yes, she does. Oh, it's not sanitary.
I prefer syrup.
Mm.
Hello, Hussein X. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Virtual Slayer Cat is here. What's up, Virtual Slayer Cat? I'm rocking the Slayer shirt today, bro.
I'm rocking the Q2 VR shirt.
What's that?
The
No, I'm just
Q2.
joking.
Yeah. What show? What is what? No.
What's that? No, I'm just kidding. I can't say that. Oh. Anyway, Chris9989, I think we already said hello to, as well as Space Dennison. Tatum's here. What's up, Tatum? Lots of cutscenes for Atomic Heart. Yeah, I don't mind them so much, which I haven't experienced them in VR yet. I know GT was kind of impatient during his video the other day and wanted to get right to the gameplay. But if you're telling me a good story and the graphics look good, I don't mind the cutscenes, man. That's fine by me.
Right.
I don't remember which movie it was, Wolveraz. It was some crazy 90s movie with 90s music. It was very 90s. We'll just say that. Typical Kiwi is here, as is Flame Hat, the Game Cat. Flame Hat, the Game Cat. Guido's here. What's up, Guido? D-Rail with us as well. What's up? Who else? Lage, joining us from Sweden. I hope I pronounced that right. Lage. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for life. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Who else? Scrolling. Looper. Did we say hi to Looper? Hello, Looper. Geisen. Of course, Geisen's here. Hello, Geisen. Thank you for joining us. Samson143 VR. Have to go record the podcast, but I'll tune into this later. Can't wait for Quest 3. Well, thank you for stopping by and saying hello, Samson. Michelle B is here. Je ne sais quoi is here. Hello and hello. Who else? Scrolling. Thomas McNostrils here. Says, I hope you're feeling splendid. I'm feeling pretty splendid. Piotric F. Sony's focused on multiplayer games, not VR. Well, they're big enough that they can focus on more than one type of thing, I feel. Brondo is here. Not sure Brondo. I'm not sure either, Brondo. None of us are sure anymore. Tribe Grey Wolf's here. What's up, Tribe? Good to see you, friend. Tribe stopped playing Ghost of Tabor long enough to stop by and say hello.
I thought
Which, by the way,
I thought you were saying he would stop playing. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Oh no, not in a million years. 100,000 players in Ghost of Tabor now, and it's still just in open beta. That's
I'm just kidding. That's good, right?
Looks great.
It's pretty good numbers.
They're starting to talk about 2 more titles that their studios are working on too, which are actually even more appealing to players like me. Like they're talking about, and they've said this publicly, so I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school here. But they're going to model one of their games after Rust, which we talked. How many times have we said we need Rust in VR? Like a fucking million. Like they're working on that, and then they're working on something very similar to DayZ in VR as well,
nice.
Which is awesome. Who else is here? Simplex is here. Good to see you, friend. Joining us from Poland.
Tammy and the T-Rex is the movie. It's a young Paul Walker and Denise Richards.
There you go. Gabriel 004, the license to meow game cat. Hello. That might be it. No, it's not, because Rex BK9 is here as well, as is Rogue TR and Lee VR. Chinatown D's here.
Oh, did you
New
know she's
creator is
fishing?
here.
She's in the or in the was it Real Fishing VR tournament?
That's awesome. This is a game that we need to get back to, Roots, because I was kind of blown away by the initial version of it, but it's had like 10 updates, and we've never even tried the multiplayer in that game yet.
Yeah, I barely scratched the surface. Like I was telling you, I've never played that game. I've gone into it enough to talk about it, but never really like played it since they've updated it, right?
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot more locations and a lot more fish. I mean, there's just a lot more everything in that game now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah! Decepticon is here.
So was there was a
Decepticon.
second intro article, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, the other one was kind of just a wrap up of PS5 showcase, which we already done. So
Oh, I got you. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll just show that
we
it's up
started
there.
on that one.
Yeah, there we go.
James is here. He's singing happy birthday to Spry Guy. What's up, James?
Alien Kara says, my dad plays Real Fishing VR and loves it as well as Swarm. Oh, wait, no, the Alien Kara didn't say that, but I said that. Swarm is awesome, right?
Yeah, Swarm is great. And I think we say that every week, but it's true. And it's still one of the highest rated games on the Quest Store. Like it's like in top 10. The number one in the action genre.
I went in there and played it again the other day and was surprised. I'm surprised that's not on the PlayStation VR2. That'd be a great game for it.
Yeah, me too. Me too, for real. Dead Ringer, the Game Cat, is joining us as well. I think that's as far as I can go. Hello, Mal. Mal's joining us. Ryan B is here. If I missed you, I apologize. Thank you for joining us. We have a ton of stuff to get to, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it.
So to summarize, yes, the Phobian drive malfunctioned and triggered ahead of time. And yes, our current location is unknown. Engineering is working around the clock to fix the damages and ready to drive again. In the meantime, I ask the rest of you to keep a professional attitude and to take advantage of this unique research opportunity.
And patient number 247. They found this one in the automated shuttle floating outside our ship. Lacerations, 2 fractured ribs, and some minor cerebral edema. A few days in the hibernator should help with all that. If only the others were that easy to fix. And patient number 247. Lacerations, 2 fractured ribs. A few days in the hibernator should help with all that.
Cosmodread is now available on PlayStation VR2. Roots, many people would argue that this was the best thing that happened to VR last Wednesday, and it's hard to argue with them, man. I got in there last week and played some Cosmodread on my PlayStation VR2, and I forgot just how much I love this game. This is a pretty good game, especially for $15, right?
Yeah, it's $15. Holy shit! Yeah, it's a really
$15.
Yeah, really good game for $15. Thing about these developers is they are very good with their audio, and I've forgotten. Just like as I was going around the ship, Wes, it's so creepy, and like there's just so much going on, man. I miss my blueprints, and I've only found one for a landmine or something that I can't use. I'm using this shitty ass gun, starter gun with the nails, which they're okay, but man, it takes a lot to take these monsters down. I've ran into spider-like creatures, and it's creepy, and it's super good, especially
that highlights that highlights one of the big differences in the game is that it's always different for everybody and for every run. You say that you got stuck on like the nail gun. For me, it was the crossbow. I started with the crossbow, and that's the only weapon that it ever spawned in for me at the beginning. Um, but this game does come to us from White Door Games, the studio that brought us Dread Halls. And while this is a very different game from Dread Halls, you can see them taking a lot of the foundation that made that game great and applying it here. And specifically, what you mentioned, the audio design keeps you on the edge of your chair like constantly.
Yeah, plus, the way that they do that with the lights and it's it's kind of like a puzzle, right? Like you got the dark areas that are susceptible to those tentacles or whatever, the things that can hit you on top of all the other enemies. And you have to move those batteries around, and every time you move them, they lose a charge, right? And you lose the light in the room you're moving them from, and things get creepy when it gets dark, and so you really are thinking, do I really want to move this thing, right? It just it's just super good. And the only thing that I would say that I would want this to improve, and hopefully there'll be a patch, and this is the same thing, I guess GT was critical about budget cuts. It just does feels like it's not as sharp clarity wise as it could be. It was still looked really good, but I feel like it should, and maybe I'm wrong, but it should be able to, have a PS5 Pro patch or whatever you want to call a patch for it, PS5 patch, right?
Yeah, I'd say that the PS5 upgrades are minimal on this one. The textures and stuff all seem identical to the other version of the game I played. There are some upgrades, most notably probably the headset haptics.
Right.
Like they smack you in the face with that pretty early on. But the game very much is the same game it always has been. Although I will say, having this in that OLED panel does make a big difference because it's so dark. Before I had a difficult time making out a lot of the stuff that are in the rooms. None of that now. Like everything, I mean, it's still dark, still very dark, but you can operate now because there is that little bit of difference in the dark areas.
It makes a big difference when your flashlight starts to go out and come back in, especially when you have enemies around, because it is so dark, right? It's creepy, and it's not. There's none of that Mura smear either that I saw.
I didn't notice any of that either. I just thought it looked pretty good. It reminded me, you say you only found one blueprint while you were playing it. I found a few, which was a big shift for me because I don't know if you remember when we covered this the first time. Like we had a quest key and we had a PC key, and one of us took one and the other played the other version. And for whatever reason, I don't remember which version it was that I played, but my version had a bug where it wasn't giving blueprints. So I just kept doing the runs without ever unlocking anything. And this was my first time playing the game with actually being able to unlock stuff. And by my third run, I unlocked another weapon, which is like a bolt gun, like not a bolt gun, but like an electricity gun. It fires electricity out, and you have to pump it up to shoot it. You have to charge it by hand, but it was very useful having a second gun that never runs out of ammo. So on that third run, when I unlocked this thing, I almost beat it. And when I say almost beat it, like they give you like 10 things, 10 objectives to escape and win. I hit 9 of them. The last thing left was to find the ship and fly away. But as soon as I got to that point, multiple new enemy types, and I didn't last very long. Let me tell you that. Like, you've been on the channel with me long enough to know what my response is. If I run across evil in a game, an enemy, what am I going to do?
You're going to kill it.
I'm going to kill it. Not always the best plan of action, though, I'm coming to learn. But I can't help it. I have to try, right?
Well, at least you get the fuck out of there next time, right? You get that far, and now your mission is avoid whatever you can and get to the ship and get the hell out of here, right? I think they probably designed that on purpose. Sounds cool.
Yeah. And I'd played this game quite a bit before, but playing through it that one long run I had, I realized that I'd only seen about half of the enemy types and just a fraction of the weapons. There's so much more going on with this game that I never experienced before, and I already really was digging Cosmodread. So again, just a high quality roguelike horror game.
For 15
Now made its way
bucks.
for
Fuck, man.
$15,
That's
dude. That's
crazy.
incredible.
Yeah, think about how
Yeah.
much game time you've already gotten out of this one copy on PlayStation VR2.
Yeah, and I want to go back to it. That's kind of the double-edged sword about having to get ready to fly out of here. Is there's stuff I want to play, stuff I want to play more of that I played last week, and I can't. I mean, we haven't even gotten into Everslot yet, which is a damn shame, I think, because we've been looking forward to that one for so long. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the world of MASH Daddy Cool and
For
Skiva
real.
and Alex and Jasmine and all these people that are jet setters, and now Wes. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll play it when we get back. Again, though, it could be a whole different landscape by the time we get back with the stuff that's going on this week. There could be more games than ever. And I mean, there's so much stuff coming out this week. For what it's worth, I suggest that you all go right now. And if you're into scary stuff, pick up Cosmodread, because it's pretty awesome. Now, Roots, I don't know. It's weird because the game is very similar to what it is on other platforms. So if somebody owns this, I don't know if I could seriously say, well, you should go buy it again. But on the other hand, it is just $15, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess it just depends. There's not that many more reasons to play this one over the other versions. They're all good, but at least the reasons we gave you, that's only $15 is the best one, right? So
Yeah, I'd say if you love it, then it'd be worth the $15 just to have it in like the OLED with the headset haptics and stuff. Although the controller haptics were a little bit weak, maybe they'll patch that up at a later time. So if you love it, it's one of your favorite games, that you might want to go ahead and drop the 15 on it. Otherwise, I mean, it's a very similar experience.
yeah, still a good one though. Super cool.
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed getting back into it. I'm glad it dropped on PSVR 2 finally. And again, just another banger for that community to sink their teeth into.
It'd
Really
be
cool.
great game for you to stream your stream, because the next run is potentially going to be your winning run, and so that'd be cool.
Yeah, it could be. Well, it's interesting. It might be, and it might not be. Like this particular run, like within 3 or 4 rooms from the beginning, I had all kinds of ammo. I had like 3 health syringes and a bunch of bottles of air. I couldn't carry all the stuff the game was giving me. It was like the dice roll was just perfect for that run, and I got all kinds of stuff. Next time I could go in and not have any of that stuff.
The good news is you've already got the unlock the schematics, so you'll always have that electric gun as long as you're willing to get the materials for it, right? So
that's right. So you're right. I'm hoping to unlock some other stuff soon, like the pistol or the shotgun. I like real guns, Roots. But it's nice to not have to worry about ammo. That's the one thing I like about that bolt gun, is I never have to just run from enemies.
right, absolutely. You just have
I
to
can always
pump
fight.
it up, right?
Yep, run backwards and pump while you run backwards. Anyway, that was a good way to kick off our Wednesday, but Wednesday had a lot more to offer us in terms of VR news.
The target is Colonel Peter Conrad. He was one of ours before he went rogue. We intercepted comms chatter referring to neurosynaptic tech, but they've gone dark. I don't have to remind you what's at stake here. We need that intel by any means necessary. It's connected to a mind synchronization device. This is cutting-edge interrogation tech. We're out of time and out of options. We've got to go in.
Yet another lamb to the slaughter. Well, come on then. Let's see what you're made of. Impressive. I'll admit, you made a good team on the battlefield. But don't forget, this is my mind, my war, my rules.
I need you to focus. The clock is ticking. You have to adapt.
Back again? Pathetic! Your heroics mean nothing!
You're getting close. You're approaching the center of his subconscious.
You think you're a threat to me? I'll never talk! They'll never break me!
PlayStation.
Immersive PSVR2 action shooter Synapse launches on July 4th. This from the PlayStation blog. In a previous PS blog article, I talked about Synapse's dual-wielding action that combines brutal firepower and expressive one-to-one telekinesis. Today, I'm delighted to share the first details on the game's story and reveal our A-list cast of voice talent. Before I get into that, I'm proud to unveil our latest gameplay trailer that offers a tantalizing glimpse of the high-stakes mission that awaits you. And of course, we just watched this trailer. Synapse takes place on the eve of a devastating global attack, masterminded by the nefarious Colonel Peter Conrad. Once a respected Black Ops leader, the Colonel has since gone rogue and become a notorious enemy of the state, whose twisted thinking has reached dangerous new levels as he reemerges onto the world stage, threatening Armageddon. That's where you come in. You play as a highly trained operative, uniquely equipped to extract the information needed to stop the attack. After activating a scanner connected to the Colonel, you're transported into the neurosynaptic relay, a gateway within the Colonel's mind. You have no option but to break further into the Colonel's twisted mindscape, battling against his increasingly deadly defenses as you bid to find the vital intel on how to prevent the launch of his biological weapon. However, you're not completely alone on this perilous mission. Your handler, Claire Sorensen, a director of the ultra-secretive Bureau 5, will be your only connection to the outside world, guiding you through each layer of Colonel Conrad's warped subconscious. We always had the clear idea that of the two actors that we wanted to portray the Colonel and the handler. We're thrilled that both have agreed to lend their voices to the characters, so let's introduce you to a couple of familiar faces. David Hayter as Colonel Peter Conrad. The legendary David Hayter of Solid Snake Metal Gear Solid fame is the voice of Colonel Peter Conrad. We worked with David on one of our previous games, and he was not only a fantastic voice actor, but a wonderful collaborative partner. We felt that Colonel Conrad had the potential to join the legendary cast of characters that David has portrayed. Luckily for us, David agreed, and he's just as excited to bring the Colonel to life. As David alluded to, the incredible Jennifer Hale will be your guiding voice through the Colonel's mind. Jennifer has voiced so many iconic characters, including Naomi Hunter in, again, Metal Gear Solid, alongside David, as well as Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect series and Rivet in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Jennifer is looking forward to teaming up with players to take down the Colonel. We'll have more news to come in the build-up to Synapse's launch, but in the meantime, be sure to mark your calendars for July 4th. So, Roots, I mean, not only is July 4th America's birthday, it's going to be like our birthday, too.
Yeah, absolutely. This game looks amazing, right?
Looks great. We talked about it since a little since it was unveiled during a previous state of play from Sony. But this looks awesome. This is a PSVR 2 exclusive, utilizing the eye tracking to kind of guide your telekinesis through the game. You know, this is very much a game that's being built on the foundation of Fract, which we loved. And you can already tell from the trailer that they're kind of taking it to the next level. Again, a lot to be excited for here.
Yeah, absolutely. Fract was amazing. Hopefully this is, I think it's going to be more than 2 hours long. It sounds like this is like Fract we liked, but we wanted a story. I mean, fuck, man. It looks like they went out and got a story and an amazing cast to do it, right? That's the most important part. So I am looking forward to this because the action in Fract was amazing. And this is probably going to be the game we wanted Fract to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping. I'm hoping, right? We don't like to assume anymore. We've been hurt too many times when we do that. But this looks amazing. This is the first kind of built for PSVR 2 title that we're getting from In Dreams, and it looks like it's going to live up to their reputation, pulling out all the stops in terms of voice talent, in terms of, you know, utilizing PSVR 2's specific unique features. I mean, I already knew that that this was going to be an awesome game. I didn't know that it was coming so soon. I mean, it's less than 2 months away at this point, and we just learned about this game a few months ago.
You know who else is coming soon, Wes?
My mom!
That's the rumor. That's what I heard. I'm not trying to be, Cyan is looking to grip it up after the show. Are you available to grip it up after the show, Wes?
Oh man, probably not. I want to. I really want to. I have I have 1,000 things to do in the next 36 hours to get ready to leave. I haven't prepared at all. I've got some work I've got to finish up for my job, and I've got to pack. I've got to make sure my equipment's all good to go. Yeah, I don't know if I get in. It'll only be for maybe
a race or two,
a few races, but highly doubtful. I probably shouldn't. Well, I'll just put it that way. Probably shouldn't.
Well, Mash Daddy, cool. Mash Daddy, cool. Cool. Sorry, I had to do that. In my mind, it doesn't sound right. I don't have that last couple cools. It needs to get in there as well. He just joined the chat. Get back to work, he says. Yeah, he's thinking about it.
We need Eric on here, man. Like, I don't feel like I was angry enough when we were talking about Sony. That guy blew a gasket, I think.
Was he pissed?
He was pissed, bro.
I didn't even watch it, man. I wasn't surprised that it wasn't everything that we wanted it to be. I hope
he was so pissed. I was sleeping the other day, and my wife was watching VR videos on YouTube, and I woke up to Eric like ranting about this showcase. And when I looked at it, it wasn't even like from his channel. It was like from another channel that was just kind of ripping off and clipping his stuff.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. So keep it up, Eric. You're doing the right thing, apparently. Anyway, super excited for Fract. Glad that we're not going to have to wait very long to play this one, just less than a couple of months away. But that was far from the only cool thing that got revealed during the Sony showcase.
Oh, forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. Like, a lot. You see, everything started 2 years ago when I met Fred. And ever since then, it's like I see his face everywhere. And lately, I've started to develop some destructive tendencies. Whoosh! What do we have here? Well, what's a bit of harmless fun? Hello, uglies. Blah, 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 blah. And since I met my new best friend, I guess I get a little overprotective. Okay, very overprotective. Now, I'd love to sit here all day and chew your ear off. I'll be right out, boy. But as you know, time waits for no man. Catch you later, Fred. Who's a good boy? Woo! Looks like today's gonna be a scorcher.
Arizona Sunshine 2, a VR gaming legend, returns. This from mixednews.com. Arizona Sunshine remains one of the most popular VR games. After 7 years, Crazy. The zombie hunt finally continues. A story, gorgeous graphics, bursting zombie heads, and intense defense against musty hordes. Arizona Sunshine offered plenty of things that smaller VR games lacked back in 2016. A sequel for PSVR 2 and PCVR was finally announced at the PlayStation Showcase. Arizona Sunshine 2 sends you back to the searing zombie apocalypse of Christmas 2023. What? Back to the searing zombie apocalypse of Christmas 2023. All right, the story picks up where part 1 left off. True to the name, Vertigo Games doesn't dare to experiment with the desert setting. A new addition to the game is Buddy the dog, who accompanies the perpetually drunk protagonist wherever he goes. He is supposed to help take care of the annoying undead Freds. How exactly is not yet known. Vertigo Games also advertises a thoroughly revised melee combat and a new macabre maiming and wounding system. In the announcement trailer, the wisecracking hero is already busy sticking hand grenades in zombies' mouths, luring them to exploding gas canisters, and delivering blows with ripped-off arms. Machetes, shotguns, flamethrowers, and sniper rifles are all used as well. Whether the interiors and environments will provide as much detail in action remains to be seen. So far, the direction looks more like stage moments for the trailer rather than in-game scenes. We can only hope that a possible German dub will be more professional this time. Speak for yourself. Vertigo Games mentions in the announcement that the VR game will be released for four VR platforms in 2023. So besides the already confirmed PlayStation VR 2 and Steam VR, platforms like MetaQuest 2 or Pico 4 could be added. So let's start with that, Roots. Obviously a lot to be excited for here. This is a Gen 1 classic. If you talk to different people, you'll get a debate every time on just how good it is. This game holds a special place in my heart. I taught my family how to play VR in this game, and I've probably played more co-op in this than any other game in VR. It's one of my favorites. But interesting, Roots, that this is only being touted right now for high-end VR. Like it was revealed for PlayStation VR 2, but they also mentioned Steam. It's coming to Steam. No mention anywhere of Quest 2 here, which I find interesting.
Maybe it's coming to Quest 3. Fuck Quest 2.
Bingo.
Got it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
I think you might have just nailed it.
We got to cut the cord. Same thing that we said about Quest 1 is going to start applying to Quest 2, and we're not quite there, but it's going to start being the thing that holds back these games, and so we're going to want them to cut it loose. And like I said, we're not there. We're probably a couple years away, but they're going to start making that move eventually, right?
And I think that this game probably will come to Quest 2 at some point in some form. But if you played Arizona Sunshine on Quest, you know that it's not the same experience as playing it on even PlayStation VR, let alone PC. So I think that'll be a kind of a money move on their part later down the line. Or maybe they're trying to hold out and make Meta pay them to bring it there, which is a possibility as well.
Well, it's funny. Because some people in the chatter are they're saying they're just, I guess they're saying that Distracted says, I'm glad Arizona's coming back, but it's saying the way to do it doesn't put anyone's mind at ease about the problems Arizona had being fixed. Hope the great gameplay graphics are good. And it's funny because people's skepticism, I'm thinking I had the same thing. I'm like, 7-year-old game. I'm like, man, I hope this is good. And then it hit me. I'm like, okay, Arizona Sunshine in after the fall gameplay in that, world or whatever. Because, this is the same devs that did After the Fall, and that was such a good game. I might not have been a fan of the end game gameplay loop. Well, after 100 hours, I got burnt out, but that's fucking 100 hours. It's the same. It's going to be the same gameplay, but in a better story, right? A new story, and then 7 years later, I think this is going to be good. It looks good. You haven't seen gameplay, but I'm not worried about how it's going to play or what it's going to look like.
Me either. I think it's going to be gorgeous. I think the gameplay will be at least a slight upgrade from the original, which was kind of basic but still very fun. It was fun because, even in 2016, this was a co-op story-driven campaign, and it wasn't like short either. Like, well, it'd take like 6 or 8 hours to play through it, with a friend, and or you could play it solo. And as far as like at that time, there were no other zombie games that were doing that. Um, but this was the big surprise of the week to me, and the reason why is because when we heard After the Fall was coming, I thought that was kind of the spiritual sequel to Arizona Sunshine. I thought it would be a similar game in terms of structure. Um, I thought there would be a story-driven campaign for that, and when that came out, I thought that there's no chance that they go back to Arizona Sunshine. That After the Fall is their new zombie franchise. I'm glad that I was wrong about that, and the reason why is because, as you mentioned, um, After the Fall has no campaign. There's some backstory, but there isn't really a story there. Now, there's the potential for them to put it in. I mean, it wouldn't take much to turn that into an awesome story-driven campaign, but obviously they're not going that direction with it, which is why this is so great, Roots. Not only are we getting this from them again, it's picking up the minute the first game ends is where this game picks up. It's going to be, again, 7 years later, so the technology completely different now. It's going to play more, hopefully, closely to After the Fall in terms of like the weapon mechanics and stuff, and graphics. But the story here, Ruth, there's a story campaign here, and this is the cool thing that they didn't mention during the announcement trailer or the blog post. This game's being written by Rob Yescombe. Do you know who Rob Yescombe is?
Of course I know who Rob. You know, everybody knows Rob. No, I don't know.
Everybody
who Rob
knows
is.
Rob.
Yeah. You know who
Well, for those
definitely
of you
knows
who
Rob?
don't know, Rob is a well-known video game writer. He's wrote some stories I'm sure you're familiar with. Games like The Invisible Hours, or Farpoint, or The Division, or Twilight Zone VR. There's a list a mile long. Crisis 3, 2. He's written many epic tales, and one I know you love, Roots, is Farpoint. So should give you a little bit more confidence that not only are they bringing the story this time, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely will be good. I thought the original was pretty good story as well, but definitely with those credentials, I think it'll be even better. When is this supposed to come out?
2023, which is a little weird because, as has been noted by pretty much everyone, that trailer is all cinematic. It's not gameplay. So you'd think, if the game's coming out in the next 7 months, that they would have a gameplay trailer ready, but maybe they're just taking the typical rollout that we see from many games. A lot of games start with a cinematic trailer and then move into gameplay later. I think that's probably what's going on here as well.
Right. Well, like I said, if I hadn't already played the first one and played After the Fall and other games that they talked about, or didn't alluded to that End Dreams has had, done, I would be worried about, right? Or not End Dreams, Vertigo games. So
I'm so excited for this, Roots. I was so excited when I saw this, even in all my disappointment that we didn't get an Astrobot game or anything from Sony. I went straight to my Discord and DM Tam2 just to say hi, and then I'm so excited for Arizona Sunshine 2.
Do you think it's Astrobots 2's coming?
100%, but don't take my word for it. Just wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. This was again the big surprise of the day. Something that I'm very excited for. Happy that it's coming this year. Maybe even the Quest 3, we'll see. But this was not the story of the showcase. The story of the showcase was actually something that we were all expecting to show up in the showcase, and thank God that it did.
How far could he have gone?
Has to be. First PSVR 2 footage for Resident Evil 4 VR mode revealed. This again from the PlayStation blog. And this first sub-headline kind of gives us a lot of information we were wondering about. Experience the ultimate immersion with the free DLC for the PS5 version of Resident Evil 4 with PlayStation VR 2. Hello, PlayStation. I'm Edwin Edso, promotion producer for Resident Evil. Today, we released the first trailer for Resident Evil 4 VR mode. If you haven't seen it yet, please check it out. And I'm sure you all just saw it when we played it. Resident Evil 4 VR mode is a free DLC for the PlayStation 5 version of the game. Take on Leon's grueling mission as the full main story will be playable with PSVR 2. Because the game takes place in VR, the perspective changes from third person to a fully immersive first person view. From Leon's point of view, you can really take in the details and atmosphere of the environment. VR gameplay allows you to enter the world of Resident Evil 4 with the ultimate immersion experience. One of the themes of RE4 was to delve deeper into the intentions of the original game, so the scares and intensity are more pronounced. But when you played in VR, you can enjoy even more intense and unsettling situations. In the earliest village stage shown in the trailer, which fans will recognize from the original game, you can feel the sinister intent of the Ganados and the gripping tension of a last-ditch life or death attack. In addition to the knife, you'll be able to wield Leon's powerful and varied arsenal with an immersive and authentic feel. With all of these VR-adapted action elements, Resident Evil 4 VR mode for PSVR 2 has truly evolved into a more realistic experience. RE4 VR mode is currently in development, so please stay tuned for more information on release date and other details. Roots, we've already said it just about every show over the last 2 months. Resident Evil 8 Village might be the best VR game I've ever played. This looks like it's going to be just as good, if not better.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, man. The gameplay in the meta version, like we were saying before, was good. You know, for what it was. It just seems like this is not only. I guess this is a remake, right? It's not just a remaster, or
Yep.
they can. Yeah, so they're
It's
taking
a full remake.
Yeah, so they're taking liberties in other ways because the gameplay kind of sucked back then. You know, like bringing it into VR was cool, but for the meta version, but the gameplay still sucked. This is going to be a better version, so super cool.
Kramer 3K thought we were talking about Starship Disco for a minute, and then he realized he was on the wrong channel.
Oh, dude, I was thinking about talking about some Beat Saber, man. I need a PlayStation version of that, Wes.
I was trying to make it through the whole show today without saying Beat Saber.
Oh,
there it is.
Well, you know who loves to beat the saber?
I do.
Yeah, she's good at it too. She's
like Beat Saber.
expert plus.
But dude, this is great because there's been this debate since the initial reveal of this game, whether or not it would be the full game, because the way that they revealed it was that there was, quote, VR content in development, and no one knew if that meant it was going to be the full game or if they were just going to give us mercenaries mode. So it's good not only that they're now showing us gameplay, but they're telling us it's the full game and it's free. If you've already bought the game, then you don't have to do anything else. This will be free DLC for you, which means it's time to start watching the PlayStation Store for this game to go on sale.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think this will ever come to PC in the VR version eventually?
It's difficult to say. I mean, you would think that if Capcom were funding this wholly on their own, that it would eventually come to other platforms. But RE7 never came. You know what I mean? RE7 never came to PC. And I guess it just depends. Right. Yeah.
Everyone's still waiting, right?
6 years later, yet.
Like it's coming. It's coming. I know it.
I don't know. I have a sinking suspicion that there's a lot of Sony money in this. Is the reason why they're doing it. But you never know. Even if Sony money is in it, like the case with RE7, Sony money went into development of that, but they just had bought a year of timed exclusivity. Like Capcom could bring RE7 VR to PC if they wanted to.
Right.
The question is does it make sense for them monetarily? Like, is there enough player base there for them to put the work into bringing it to PC? And they could have avoided that with RE7 because, it was a gamepad game, and you know how Steam gamers are. If you bring something over there that's gamepad VR, they're going to skewer you in the reviews on day one. So that might be why it never came. Maybe these newer games like 8 and 4 being full VR, they might make the jump over whenever their timed exclusivity runs out.
Yeah, and it could be one of the deals so that Sony can get Valve's Half-Life Alyx, right? I mean, there's been more games moving back and forth than I've ever seen between the two platforms, right? And
yeah,
so,
and plus, like Sony is obviously pushing into PC gaming, and it was a little bit at first, but that's one of the things I took out of this showcase last week is that a lot of the so-called Sony exclusives, the few that they did show, were touting that they were coming to PlayStation and PC. So I think that they're going to be a lot more frequent with their PC releases going forward, and that could extend to VR as well.
yeah, that's true. And Space Denison has a good point. There's no point for them to do it. Prey Dog does it for free. So they'll probably wait until they do a remaster of 7, right? Or remake.
That's true. Prey Dog does it for free, and the Prey Dog mod is amazing. Like, you can play 2 and 3 remakes in full VR with hand tracking with the Prey Dog mod. The best version of my favorite game, RE7, is playing it with the Prey Dog mod. With that said, when it comes to Resident Evil 8 Village, the Prey Dog mod is not as good as the official version on PlayStation VR2, and it's really not all that close. So even if I played Resident Evil 4 Remake in VR 2 weeks ago, and I thought it was great. I don't think it's going to hold a candle to this.
Are you going to keep playing the remake or the mod?
They're not giving us a release date, Roots. So I don't know that this game's even going to come out this year. So I'm not going to say that I won't go back for at least one more. I mean, you know how these Resident Evil games go. They go on forever. You think that you're beating this game 3 times before you actually make it to the end. So I'm sure there's plenty of game left to be played there without spoiling the whole thing. So I might go back in for another session because it is cool. It is fun to play. I even had someone in the comments tell me that you can flip it over in the first person mode in the mod settings, which I didn't think that you could, and they might be wrong about that, but it might be worth trying.
Wow, super cool. BC wants to know, is that Arizona Sunshine on your in your background, Wes?
As a matter of fact, it is.
Yeah.
I love Arizona Sunshine. I'm super excited for the sequel, so I thought I would reflect that in my whereabouts today.
I thought Arizona Sunshine was a pretty good game, but if it wasn't for how good After the Fall is combined with how good Arizona Sunshine is, I think you put those two together, it does get me excited. So.
Macon Artist in the chat says, "Hi guys, are you talking about Quest 3 hands-on from Bloomberg today?" We did about 5 minutes on it in the intro. Spoiler alert for those of you who didn't catch that. Everything Brad said is true.
Yeah. Go figure, right? And I'm pretty sure that's like 99% of the time. I know Brad's not perfect and he's not always right, but he's pretty damn close to always right. See, it's right
he
here.
is now. Like in the early days when he started speculating about hardware, he missed pretty hard on like his first big meta predictions. But since then, he's been very careful about his sources and verifying things, and his record has been pretty spotless since that time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Joshua Taylor says, modding games to PC is fine, but I invested in PSVR and I'm happy to watch and wait. A lot of people agree with that sentiment, Josh Taylor, and I don't blame you. Not everyone can afford to own multiple VR platforms, especially when you're talking about spending thousands of dollars on a PC. Um, Now, if you're someone who has gaming already and says, "Well, I'm only going to play VR on PlayStation, or I'm only going to play Quest," then Roots questions your soul. But
I do question your soul because you're going to miss out on a lot of games.
yeah,
What's crazy is,
yeah, that's it, right?
well, what's crazy is like I see what he's talking about. I've got a 3080 Ti that cost like $1,100 just for that. Really good game.
I'm so
computer.
depressed, Roots. Carry on. I'll tell you why I'm depressed, Roots, but keep going.
Oh, anyway, so my computer is very capable, but a lot of times I would rather just go into the PlayStation VR or play something and not deal with the mods, because the mods aren't always perfect, and there's jank and there's weirdness and there's tweaking,
Yeah.
and sometimes I spend an hour trying to just get the game to run, even after I've done everything else. Maybe it's a month after I've played it, and I go back to it, and I'm like, I got to redo it again. So there's something to be said for what he just said, for sure.
Yeah, I had to put in timestamps into my High on Life gameplay the other day because there's 10 minutes of technical difficulties. About 20 minutes into the video, the thing starts crashing on me, and I had to figure out what to do to make it run. You know what ended up doing it in the end? It wasn't changing in-game settings that really made the difference. I stopped the stream. I went into my OBS settings, and I switched it off of that NVIDIA thing that uses your graphics card. Yeah, I switched it off of NVINC back to X264, and after that, it ran great.
So it was a issue with conflicting with your video card, huh?
Yeah, overwhelming my video card while I was trying to capture and stream a mod.
That's crazy.
But yeah, the great thing about being a PlayStation VR gamer is you don't have to worry about any of that shit. You just plug it in and you play. And that's the beauty of console gaming, and it's something that will always make me a console gamer first and kind of a PC guy second.
Yeah, well, especially even the way PlayStation VR2 set up today, I wasn't going back into it. I was going into Cosmodread first, but Zombieland, when I first logged into the headset, it immediately was right where I left off in the game, loaded up, and you know what I mean? Like PlayStation VR, if you just power down rest mode or whatever, or even if you go to a different game, well, I guess if you don't go to a different game, but if you just come back, you're right back into it. It's just so quick and easy. So
Jack Holson in the chat says you can go through all RE2 and 3 on VR without any problems. Minimal problems. I mean, it's not perfect. It is PCVR after all, and it is a mod. But you can play in first or third person. The controller tracking works perfectly in first person, and we've got multiple gameplay streams on the channel here. I haven't played 3. I still haven't done the RE3 VR mod, but I played deep into 2 with pretty much no problems. After I had it dialed in, it ran pretty well.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to get in there and check it out. I mean, I love those type of games in general, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, our Resident Evil it's my favorite franchise. I'm a horror gamer, and this is the best horror games. So, yeah, I'm in heaven right now. PSVR 2 is giving me exactly what I wanted, like perfectly exactly what I wanted, with the exception of no first party games, other than Gran Turismo. But I'm sure those are coming.
GTA 5 online.
Yeah, man, I'm ready for it. As I was saying, Roots, I'm a bit depressed. Isabel, she wants to build a PC for Christmas, and we're on a budget. And good news for her is, looking at the secondhand market on Facebook, things are pretty cheap. We're going to be able to build her a pretty good computer. The bad news is our graphics cards ain't worth shit anymore, Roots. Like, we paid a bunch of money for these. You could pick up 3080 Ti's on Facebook right now for $500. You can pick up 3070s for $300. And there's a lot of those. Yeah.
Well, I doubt it would be for the Win Ultra 3080 Ti. A little bit better than those ghetto 3080 Ti's. No.
I saw a 3090 for like $700 or something.
Did you pick it up? So what are you gonna do with the processor? Are you gonna upgrade your processor and then give her your processor and motherboard?
Yeah, I don't know.
What you should do.
That's what I did last time. One of my kids wanted a computer, is I would just upgraded mine and gave him my old stuff.
Well, because you're now at almost 5 generations behind, and so like that'd be great for a good starter computer. It's not great for running mods and what we do.
Yeah, now that's the thing. I thought about just building her one, you know, within her budget, and I mean you can honestly $500 you could build a pretty solid gaming PC that plays most games on medium to high right now. The thing is, she wants to get into 3D modeling and stuff, do like stuff like Betty does for the studio escapes me now. The Synthwriter studio, Kluge. You know, Betty has a job working at Kluge, and that when Isabel saw what Betty did and how she kind of just started out just making cool things for her friends and then ended up turning it into a job. She's an artist already, Isabel. So she's like, you know, she's 16 now. She's starting to think about what she wants to do for a living. And as of right now, this is what she wants to do. So she needs a pretty beefy computer for that type of work.
That's true.
So whatever provides the best bang for your buck, whether that means buying her own stuff or upgrading mine and passing it off to her, we're going to give her the best computer that we can get within our budget.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
the good news is that graphics cards are fairly cheap right now if you're not getting one that has a 4 on the front of it. Anything 3 and under, like fucking, you can get 1080 Ti's for like $100 now, and like 20 series, a couple $100.
That's crazy.
Like, it's crazy.
Wolvie, are you hearing this? Because he was just telling me he wanted to upgrade to a 2080 Ti, but it was too expensive. You're telling me it's cheap.
You can get them secondhand on Facebook pretty cheap. You do have to beware, of course,
Scammers.
because you don't know which ones have been used for crypto mining and run 24/7 for 6 years. You know what I mean? You have to vet it. You know, I bought a couple of graphics cards now off of Facebook, and you have to vet it. You have to talk to these people, ask them how they've been using it, and judge whether or not they're very trustworthy. But they are out there. You know, the gamers are out there that just want to upgrade. And if you can give them half of the price of like a 4080 for their 3080, then a lot of them are going to go for it.
Right. Absolutely. I'm not. I'm going to stick with my 3080 Ti. Be happy.
D-Rail says I'm going to sell my 3090 for pretty cheap when the new ones drop. There you go. Yeah, it's kind of every other thing for me with graphics cards. Like, they take turns being affordable and debuting new technology. We're in the new technology space right now, so if things hold the pattern, the 5 series from NVIDIA should be more affordable and work a lot better.
Right.
I remember when the 30 series came out, there were so many you ever watch those Hitler Reacts videos, Roots, where they take that movie of Hitler losing his mind and they change the subtitles out to say whatever the thing is that they're trying to make fun of. There were so many of them when the 30 series came out, and it was all about 2080 Ti owners seeing the 30 series pricing. It was fucking hilarious. I watched that shit for days.
That's crazy.
I had to watch something. I was up 24/7 trying to catch a graphics card at retail.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
Yeah. Spry Guy says I still have a 2080. That was what I was going to look for Isabel, was like a 2080 Super, 2080 Ti. But seeing how cheap like 3070s and 3080s are, we might get her something even a little better.
Right.
Anyways, back to the issue at hand. We have one more headline to get into before we get into the extensive list of this week's stuff that's out.
I'm Howard Scott Warshaw. I was an Atari game designer and programmer, and I am responsible for Atari's most famous and most infamous titles. So we're just rolling live now. Working at Atari in the early 80s was being on top of the world, and nobody saw the crash coming. To tell you the truth, it all started with Bug. Not like a software bug, an amazing programmer named Barbara Rivers, but we all knew her as Bug. She's the one who programmed Pixel Rip. It was like she lived in the game. It's like, we're trying to make a game. She's coming from out of the game to tell us what she's doing. That was so wild.
Pixel Rip 1978 gets a June release date on Quest 2, Steam VR, and PlayStation VR2. This from Harry Baker at Upload VR. Atari announced a June 15th release date for Pixel Rip 1978, developed by Brazilian studio Arvory. This entry follows on the footsteps of the series' previous entries, 1989 and 1995, and on the road spin-off, but is the first to feature a partnership with Atari. This will push the setting deeper into nostalgia-laden gameplay, featuring gameplay inspired by some classic Atari titles such as Yar's Revenge, Crystal Castles, and Crystal Castle shown in a whole new light. Pixel Rip 1978 will also feature, quote, an authentic recreation of the fabled Sunnyvale Atari studio with dozens of multi-layered Atari Easter eggs. Here's Arvory and Atari's summary of what to expect from the game when it arrives this summer. Developed by award-winning VR studio Arvory, Pixel Rip 1978 is set in an alternate universe in the 1970s, where the video game revolution was about to erupt and Atari was front and center. The game's protagonist, Bug, is an early Atari game designer and programmer who has a unique ability to travel into the games she's making to work out bugs and glitches from the inside. A cool job at Atari quickly goes haywire when the game she's working on, Pixel Ripped, gets hacked, turning classic Atari characters into ghastly foes. Bug joins forces with her own superhero creation, Dot, to fight evil from the inside and finally launch the game. Last week, a developer video from Arvory gave us a recap of the studio's journey with Pixel Rip so far, starting from lone developer Anna Ribeiro. We've been saying it wrong, Roots. Her
What? There's an R in there.
Ribeiro.
No, it's Ribeiro. Anna, I'm sorry to tell you this. You've been pronouncing your name wrong your whole life.
I actually DM'd her about this the other day. It's like, it just dawned on me that everyone says your name wrong. And she's like, yeah, that's true, but it's fine. I said, 5 years in, you can't really take it back now. She's going to be Ribeiro forever, even if it's actually Ribeiro.
I still have people call me Ruuts. And so I just, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Zim called me Ruuts for like a year as I watched his stream before we did a podcast, and then found out it was Roots. So,
yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anna Ribeiro, as the effort grew to 20 people working on the title, was part of the studio's multi-game production schedule. Pixel Ripped, is it Pixel Ripped or Pixel Hipped? I'm just kidding. Pixel Ripped 1978. Launches on June 15 for Quest 2, PSVR 2, and Steam VR for PC. Be sure to tune in to Upload VR Showcase on June 14th, as Arvory is planning to reveal a video for its latest release. So there we go. It's our first confirmed title for Upload VR Showcase, Roots, and a pretty good one to start off with, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? Alien Kara said in the chat, the What the Bat best VR game of the year guy. I'll totally take this in. And I have to admit, that goes through my head sometimes when I read an article. I'm like, oh, hey, this is, like.
I was thinking it too. When I said his name, I was thinking What the Bat the whole time.
That's just crazy. Come on, Harry, bro. We know you're better than this. It's actually not a bad article. That's the thing. Like, usually it's...
No, it's a good article. It's a great game, too. I got a chance to play, go hands-on with this game when I was in San Francisco for GDC. And it's cool, man. It's a prequel, actually, to the other two Pixel Rip games. And spoiler alert, you are battling the Cyblin Lord again in this one. Only he's got some... really tricky things up his sleeve in store for us this time.
How cool is it that they're partnering with Atari, which is big for, people like us that grew up with Atari, but it's actually really big for Atari as well. Like, a lot of these companies, like, I guarantee Atari's like, they would love to get a foot back into modern gaming, right? Somehow, some way. Well, here it is. Like, I just think it's cool collaborations, and it's gonna be cool to
Yeah.
actually be playing an Atari, right?
That was one of my big takeaways from meeting with these people in San Francisco, because it wasn't just Arvory people that were there. The top guy from Atari was there as well, and I had a chance to meet him. And their excitement for this game is off the charts. Like they're just as excited for it as Arvory is. And it was interesting to learn how the collaboration came along, because what Anna told me was that the original Pixel Rip that she was developing on her own took place across a number of different time periods, like the different titles do now. And 1978 was always supposed to be the first title, or the first level, I guess, at that point when it was all going to be one game. 1978 was already supposed to be the beginning of it. And this game was in development before Atari got involved with it. They were already going back to do the 1978 era, but it was just by chance. I think they said maybe it was at the DICE Awards that the top guy from Arvory, just by random dumb luck, got sat next to the guy from Atari, and they just started talking about what they're working on. And obviously what Arvory's working on has a lot to do with Atari. And from that just random meeting at a dinner after an award show, this collaboration came about. And that they did have to go back and rework a lot of the game, because now they're working with actual IPs from Atari versus the kind of knockoff stuff that they did before. But what it eventually has amounted to, even though that we've had to wait a little bit longer for this one, it's a more authentic experience and a better game for gamers in the end. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting and cool how all of this just came down to random chance.
Oh yeah, what a shout out to God, man. I don't say you say a random chance. I say I see God's hand all over that. There's just certain things that line up so perfect. And it was like it was meant to be, because it kind of was meant to be. Super cool. What a great story.
How dare you talk about God Roots? We don't call him that here. We call him the programmer, the
That's right,
simulation programmer.
The simulation program. I heard somebody say that, hey, we're in a simulation. You know what? I could get behind that. I know who created it. But it does seem like
exactly.
the world is pretty weird sometimes, right? Some of the laws and how they work,
Yeah. Everything's so perfect.
Yeah.
Everything's so perfect. The way that the universe fits together and the way that nature works.
The Goldilocks planet, the distance
certainly,
from
most
the sun,
certainly a
right?
simulation.
Yeah. It's
Most
absolutely.
certainly.
Absolutely.
Most certainly
No
a
doubt
simulation.
about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All intelligence is artificial intelligence in the eyes of the creator, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I would say this is one thing I don't even think is conspiracy. I think most people would not be shocked by this, but I think AI is further down the road than we've been. I think it's been controlling things a lot longer than we think. They're just now, this is just the rollout. So
I've been actually, it's funny you say that, because I went down this rabbit hole today. When my power was out, I was listening to podcasts and stuff on my phone, and it was all AI stuff, just because the timing of it's so weird. Like, we have two people from Google come out like a year ago saying, hey, the AI is sentient now. Like, it's self-aware and thinks for itself. And not 6 months after that, we get Midjourney and Chat GPT, and all of these amazing things hit the market. It's almost like it was a planned rollout, huh?
yeah, absolutely. I've been kind of messed up. I think everybody's probably messed around with a Chat GPT at some point, but I literally went into one, and I think it was Google's or maybe it was Bing's, but I was asking it what a good character's name for World of Warcraft is for a troll priest, a witty one, and it just wasn't that good at it yet, Wes. It has some things to learn, man.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
It tried.
So I didn't trust it at first. After I found out it's on a first name basis with Brad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're
cool.
Yeah, because we're like, I don't know, 1 or 2 degrees from Brad. So if he's like that with Brad, then he's got to know who Roots is. Chat GPT, do you know who I am, bro?
We should go ask. They might know us.
Yeah, they might.
We're secondhand famous. That's what my daughter calls it. We're secondhand famous. We're not famous ourselves, but I've met famous people.
I'll tell you what, I do actually. After I found out GT's channel's almost at 50,000, I'm like, holy crap, man, he's nailing it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Super cool.
Yeah, I know. GT's about to cross 50. Brian's about to cross 100.
Oh my God, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, that's one person that deserves every single thing he's getting, dude. He's put so much hard work into that channel. Actually, everybody has that's contributed to it, including yourself. It's super cool.
Yep, absolutely. It's exciting times for us in the VR space.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm super excited for Pixel Rip. The gameplay leans even more into what we loved about the first game. You're jumping back and forth, and unlike the original, which kind of puts you in like a mini game for half of the time, and then you go into VR or into the game for the boss fights. This is very different from that. This one actually has you jumping back and forth from the real world to the game world at will. You can jump back and forth a lot. And it kind of works like Flow Weaver, where you have to go into the real world and do some things that affect stuff in the game. You have to jump into the game and do some stuff to affect things in the real world. And the puzzles are a bit more complex. I'm not saying that they're tough or anything, but the concept behind the puzzles in this game is much more complex based on this kind of dimension hopping mechanic. It was really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, I love the originals. I love platformers in general. And hopefully we have another protagonist, little prick friend that we can interact with. That was the thing I took away from the second one.
Chinatown D in the chat says, you know who else's hand is famous?
Infamous. She's infamous. It's like a legend.
Alan Kerr says, I hope it's good. I think if you like the other two, you're going to love this. And if you didn't like those, you're not going to like this. But, having played about 20 or 30 minutes of the game, my impression of it was this is going to be the best one yet.
Yeah.
We've got legit IPs now that we're pulling from. They have the experience of the other two games that they've worked on, or not. I mean, they've worked on more than two games. Like Arvery also did Yuki. They did The Line. I mean, Arvery's been busy for a while now. So they have all that experience to fall back on. And I'm confident that this is going to be the best Pixel Ripped yet. And not that long to wait, Roots. Only about 3 weeks away on this one.
Wow, that's super quick, huh?
I wish we had a copy we could play now.
Oh, I know. I wish I had a copy I could play right now as well. That would be super cool. And I'd almost be tempted to play it after the show instead of Grip, but I already committed to Grip.
Anyways, tune in to Virtual Strangers right around that time, right around the time of the upload showcase, what we're going to be covering this game. And who knows, maybe we won't be the only ones that have a copy coming out of that episode. Anyways, that's our headlines for the week. And what headlines they were, Roots. If only we had some games coming out sooner, like stuff that's coming out this week. But I guess that's a little too much to ask for, huh?
Peggy 12.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Stay with me, kid. Focus.
I can't do this.
Tell me, what's your name?
Carrie.
Good. Carrie, listen to me. We're gonna get you out of there. Folks, you heard it here. We've got a killer on the streets of Gallows Creek tonight. For now, here's another hit record for you all to enjoy. The Whistling Man?
He was a serial killer back in the 50s. Story is, he's biding his time, waiting to take revenge on the town.
I'm lost, Forrest. I don't know where I am. His face is lying next to him, Forrest. Where's the key?
The roof! It's coming down! I need someone here now or I'm gonna die!
Call Jericho. How the hell did I get into this mess?
Hey, Big Shot, hit the button and take the call.
Killer Frequency is out this week to kick it off. Out June 1st, as are all of the titles on this list, all of them coming out on June 1st this week. Killer Frequencies, it's a weird one for me, man, because I like the vibe of it. Like, it looks cool. I'm not so sure how good of a VR game this is going to be. It seems a lot like Area Man Lives, in that you're staying in one environment and just kind of trying to work from there. But with that said, Roots, this is a flat game first, which gives me a little bit of confidence, at least. If they're bringing this to consoles and PC, it has to be decent, right?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, if they brought it over to VR, what would be the point? I'm just trying to see, what did Harry Baker say? Did he say it was really good? Because I don't even know that he said. Doesn't sound like he played it too much. But I don't know. I think it could be good. Area Man Lives was so bad that this can't be that bad. I mean, if you compare it to that, this could be really good. You know,
I'm intrigued. It's coming to PC and consoles, but to VR exclusively on MetaQuest 2.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird, right? It's coming to PlayStation, no PSVR. It's coming to Steam, no Steam VR. Only Quest 2.
Yeah, and that's the least of the powerful, right? So
yeah.
Well, hopefully, like Awesome Tatum says, hopefully it's better than Area Man Lives, and I guess we won't have a couple, 3 or 4 days to wait.
Yeah, I think Thursday.
Yeah.
Let me just double check.
June 1st.
Yeah, that's Thursday.
Question.
All these
Thursday.
games are out on Thursday. Anyways, that is by far from the only thing we're getting this Thursday. VR1 finally launching on MetaQuest this Thursday. This is a game that's been around in some form for a while now, picked up last year by our friends at Fast Travel Games and polished up for the VR masses. This looks pretty cool, Roots. It's a similar puzzle mechanic to what we see in like The Last Clockwinder, where you're using clones and time travel to kind of solve problems. And it's something that hasn't been overdone in VR just yet. And for, if no other reason than that, I'm intrigued with this one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with typical Kiwi. It's not my type of game typically. But the art style is different. The story, you know, if it's good enough, I didn't really care for any of those other games either. But this one looks more unique than any of those other ones you mentioned. So
I guess I'm more of a puzzler than you. I thought The Last Clockwinder was really good. And I do like puzzle games if they're challenging. And you know, it remains to be seen whether or not this fits in that category. But looking at the other stuff that Fast Travel decided to pick up, stuff like Everslot, stuff like Guardians, I'm pretty confident to say that the quality level here is going to be pretty good as well. So if you're a puzzler, this might be one for you to keep your eye on this week. Again, dropping this this Thursday. Let me see. I don't know if we have pricing info on this just yet.
Well, while you're looking up that, I'll tell you, Alien Kara says, looks like The Last Clockwinder. I would rather play with myself in a different way. You know who else would also rather play with himself in a different way?
My mom!
Nice.
very much.
I don't
so.
see a price tag on this. I got to imagine $20 or $25 is probably going to be where it lands at, but we'll see.
It's some reason $19.99 sounds like the price. I've heard that before, and I could be totally off, but I don't know. Maybe I'm from the future, and I just
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, you may or may not. I was telling Wes during the break, or during the video, and I kind of don't want to admit this because I know the AI is listening, but I was super polite when I talked to the GPT. I was like, after I had this, because I was talking to it for like an hour trying to get this perfect name. Really appreciate you. You really helped me. Nice to meet you. It was pleasant talking to you. That like, I want this AI to like me. I got to have the AI overlords be happy with Roots. So
They're not. It's not going to happen, Roots. They're going to hate you no matter
damn
what.
it, that son of a bitch. I want to be liked by him though.
We can try though, right? That's all we can do is try. Be
What if I
polite.
sell out other humans to you, AI? Will you like me then?
Oh yeah.
They'll
for
like
sure.
me. They'll like me for a little bit, right? And then I'll be like the last to go.
Yeah, it'll be me and you left at the end of the world, Roots.
Yep, that's it.
Anyway, we're not even halfway there yet when it comes to stuff VR games coming out this week. So the rainbow people show up, right? And they build their own little settlement, and they stick to their area, you stick to yours, and that's fine. So we just leave them alone and ignore them. But then the rainbow people start bleeding into your turf, which is hell, admittedly. But they start bringing their rainbow shit into your space, and now it's on, Roots. Get ready to rip some rainbow people to shreds when No More Rainbows drops on Quest 2 and PC this Thursday.
I was looking at the gameplay. The gameplay looks cool. It looks like platformy cool. And just like when you go up to the portal, like it looked like a different world. It kind of looked like it wasn't like a picture or a painting or something. And then it just looked like it became real, and that's where you go next. I just think it looked really cool. Definitely unique.
As time goes on, we find ourselves looking more and more for, console quality AAA VR games. But every now and then we'll have an exception come along where something just seems unique and like it hasn't been done before, and that'll capture our interest. And I think that this game certainly fits that description.
Yeah, absolutely. The story could be cool. Definitely unique. Do we know a price on this?
We should have a price on this one. This game's been around for a while on Apple, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Coming to the main store this week.
It looks trippy, man.
Let's see.
Oh, so Looper the Underground Game Cat says, I've played the demo, and this is the only game where singing locomotion makes at least some sense because your paws actually touch the ground. Oh, swinging. Okay. Gorilla tag movement.
Hopefully there's stick movement too. I don't want it just to be gorilla tag movement. Even if it does make sense, I just don't want to do that.
I went into Demio a bit ago, Wes, and for the first time since I've played this game, I felt your pain. with the stick turn. Like,
Oh,
I don't know why it's never bothered me before, but I went to stick turn a couple times and I'm like, why the fuck can I not just turn? Why do I need to grab the table? Please fix this. I know it's not even really a fix, but still fix it for Roots and Wes.
It just makes sense. Just make it an option.
Yeah.
It's something that they already know how to do. They just have to flip a switch, and they just won't do that for some reason.
Yeah. It just makes more sense to not have to physically, because sometimes if the table's perfect, I just want to turn the angle, right? Or turn a little bit. So lazy.
Anyway,
Wes.
the further down the list we go, the cooler the releases get for this week. We still have a couple more to go, Roots. Battle Talent, after years of development, finally launches this week onto MetaQuest and PCVR. Roots, this game has been in like an open beta state for years at this point, and has the benefit of all of that polish before that they officially launch finally this week. One of the cool things about this is a, if you can't tell, like a blade and sorcery style melee game that also has magic. But there's a large variety of weapons in this game, and it fully supports mods on day one, even on Quest. There's over 1,000 mods available for this game as it currently stands.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's it's gonna release in a great state then, right? So
yeah. This game, I haven't played it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about this game. It has almost 3,500 ratings on just the Quest store.
Wow.
And 4.7 out of 5 for this one.
Does it have 100,000 players playing it though? Oh, that's Tabor. It goes to Tabor. That's really good actually. It looks cool. Looks a lot better than all the other swords. As sorcery or whatever. What is it? Blades and sorcery. I never really got the appeal of that outside of people's YouTube videos. This one actually looks cool.
Yeah, this one has over 80 different enemy variants, over 100 weapons, 60 buffs and perks that you can add to your character as you go along. And it's a roguelike, so you do have levels that you're playing through and bosses at the end. So it does, even though it's very similar in terms of gameplay to Blade and Sorcery, it's structured in a way that's more palatable to players like you and me who want a reason to be spending time in a game,
Yeah, Blade and Sorcery is just a simulator. I don't even know what the hell that game is. It baffles me. Kind of reminds me, sounds like, of Risk of Rain 2, but melee oriented, in VR.
Right.
So
right, yeah, it's a good comparison to draw.
Yeah.
Anyway, this game launches again on it's staying on App Lab, I think, maybe. But it's also available on Steam VR this Thursday. The full launch of Battle Talent.
Yeah, it says App Lab, SideQuest, and Steam.
There you go.
So.
There you go. Anyway, I've talked to quite a few people that have played this. As full disclosure, this is one of the titles that we represent at Impact Reality, and so I've talked to quite a few people who have played this game over the last month or so, and I just keep hearing great things about it. So check it out when it launches this Thursday.
Cool.
All right, one more title dropping this week. Well, actually more than that, but one more on the list that I put together here. And we have another case here, Roots, of something that is old becoming new again in the current generation.
Hello, can you hear me? You're in terrible danger. People keep disappearing around here, and I hate to tell you, but they're coming for you next. You can make it, but you have to go now.
Please don't shoot me.
Attention. Rogue human alert. Human employee number 451 missing from designated workstation.
Run if you want, little piggy, but it won't save you.
Budget Cuts Ultimate out this week. Roots, what this is basically is they've taken Budget Cuts, the original, and the sequel, Budget Cuts 2, and basically put them together into one seamless campaign, which is pretty cool when you consider that a lot of the criticism of early VR games is just that they weren't long enough. There wasn't enough content there. Now they're putting both of those titles together into one. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And it's a completely, almost like a new game. I guess it is in a sense it never came to PlayStation, right? Or did it?
Oh, that's incorrect. The original Budget Cuts launched on PC and PlayStation VR. I don't think the sequel, Budget Cuts 2, ever came to PlayStation. So this will be new for those players. The second half of the game, which, by the way, I never played the original Budget Cuts. I only played Budget Cuts 2, and I thought it was a really good game at the time.
Yeah, the second one was on a train, right?
Yeah,
at least
that's right. It starts out on a train. It starts out on a train, and you get off of it in like the second level or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was asking you during the break that whether or not Budget Cuts ever came to Quest before, and I'm searching on the store now. Doesn't look like it. Looks like this is going to be the first Budget Cuts title to come to MetaQuest 2, which is pretty cool that Neat Corporation, after all these years, is going to get a chance to really make some real money on their game.
Yeah, Quest Budget Cuts Ultimate, right? I'm going to add it to my wish list proactively. Just doing. Oh, I can't. Son of a bitch! Well, I guess let me log in. I thought I was logged in with my Meta account. There we go. Okay, I can do it.
So I guess while we're at it, we might as well go on to our next reminder, which is let's all go wishlist a game right now. Let's support NeatCore or whatever other developer that you want to throw your support to. Just a few clicks. That's all it takes. And that makes a big difference for these games and these studios. And you get a reminder when your game comes out or when it goes on sale. Although I'm horrible about taking games off my wish list when I actually have them. So like most of the things I get in my email are about games I already have.
Yeah, me too. You just saw me in real time add to wish list, and I have an Oculus 30% off code apparently that I'll probably not use. Or maybe oh shit. I wish I could have that on my PlayStation for Zombieland. I'm going to add to my wish list No More Rainbows, because there's violence, blood, and crude humor. And who doesn't? You know who loves all three of those things, Wes?
My mom!
Yeah. That's right. She does.
She does.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, especially in the bedroom.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do two this week, I think. I'm going to do, like you, I'm going to do Budget Cuts Ultimate, if I can find it on here. And I'm sure I can. It'll just take me a moment. Type it into the search bar.
Samson says, wish listed Quantar tonight.
Nice.
Which one
another Another Impact Reality title there, Roots, Quantar.
Nice. When is Cave Digger 2 coming to PlayStation VR 2? Oh, I guess it is on June 1st. Well, we didn't do every single game, but that is, I guess, what that's coming out to, Wes? Cave Digger 2?
Oh, Cave Digger 2 is already on PlayStation VR 2. Cave Digger 1 is coming out this week.
Oh, God. Well, I'll tell you what. If you've played Cave Digger 2 and you enjoyed it, you probably shouldn't go anywhere near Cave Digger 1. Because it's not that it's not a good game. It's just you're going to feel like you went back in time. It's so basic. The second game was so good, multiplayer. You explored. The first one, you're literally in that little fucking thing, like, right? The elevator, that's it.
Yeah.
And
so
it's a different game. I'm not saying it's not worth playing. I just don't know that if you really like the second one, you might want to like watch some gameplay of the first one and see.
Go play Deep Rock Galactic VR mod.
Yes. We need to get back into that now that supposedly, and I say supposedly just because it never worked that well for me, but they say it works well now, Wes.
Yeah, they fixed the crashing that we had, and apparently you can party up now without crashing the game.
We need a full party
apparently,
so that we can actually do what we need to do, Wes, because you need at least 2 or 3 people. Because, like, there's different abilities, and if you can't, like, there's one that you have to get the stuff that's up high, and if you don't have another person that has that ability, you're kind of fucked. So,
well, there you go. I'm sure we wouldn't have any problems filling out our squad on that one. There's so many people in our Discord raving about it, even when it was broken. So,
yeah, true.
Anyway, I wishlisted Budget Cuts Ultimate, and I wishlisted Arizona Sunshine 2.
That's a good one.
Yeah, man. Love it. Can't wait. Super excited. Yeah, see, Space Dennison, there you go. Deep Rock is good. It's the best, he says. It's awesome.
Well, we need to get back. We need to get in there. And I don't see Pixel Rip 1978 on the Quest store. As far as...
That's weird.
Yeah, to be able to... I see Pixel Rip 1995, but I was going to wish list that while I was sitting here. I figured I wanted to one up Wes. He did 2. I'm going to do 3.
We got to save something for next week.
Oh,
Rich.
That's true.
Speaking of which, it'll probably be 1 week from today before we're back on the air. I will be in the air this Friday when we would typically be going live with Strangers in the Night. So I won't be around to do our typical show, which, by the way, apologies for those of you who were excited for the show this last Friday. Shit came up. Eric had stuff to do. Roots had something pop up that he had to do. So last minute we had to pivot off. Although the High on Life playthrough doing pretty well. I mean, we had 30 some people tune in to watch it live, and I mean it's already over 600 views, which is good for a gameplay.
Well, I think a West gameplay is better than any conversation we could have had anyway, and that would have been a good bulk of the show anyway. Would have been West playing through the game, yeah, and I would have been talking. So I think
that's what we were going to do anyway.
Yeah,
we were going to give impressions on Cosmodread, which we did today. We were going to talk a little bit about Everslot, and then we were going to real-time review High on Life VR, which you guys got that on Friday. So we'll be back 1 week from today to talk about all the stuff revealed during the Metagaming Showcase and whatever else might happen in the interim, at AWE or elsewhere. So again, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you ring the bell so that that you can stay updated and be notified the next time that we go live. Roots, I keep telling people to click the big red button. I don't even know if the button's red anymore. Like it used to be a red button. I'm not so sure it is anymore.
Does it work? So you know what's weird? Okay, and maybe it's just me. I hear all the time people say, make sure you check the bell. YouTube unsubscribes people all the time. Have you ever had that happen to you? I don't feel like I've ever gone to something that I have been subscribed to and just suddenly been unsubscribed. Maybe it's happened. I just haven't realized it yet, but
I think maybe it does happen, or maybe people click on things sometimes on accident and don't realize it, because I know there's things that I used to be subscribed to that I'm not anymore, and I don't remember unsubscribing to them. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal
it
is with
just-
that. It's a phenomenon. It's Mandela effect.
It sounds like you just said yes. That you have had that happen. I think it's, you know, I don't know. It's very possible it's happened to me. I just haven't realized it yet.
It's possible to me that I'm getting confused because I have multiple accounts. So like back in the day, I was using more of the Lethal Weasel account. Now this time I use more of the Virtual Strangers account. So it could be that I'm remembering stuff I did on the other channel.
Yeah, it's true. And Looper has a good point. It's not about unsubscribing. It's about lack of notifications. That I do know is real. All the time. It's like, what the hell? I'm supposed to get notified. And I didn't. So.
Anyway, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. It's the one thing that you can do that really helps more than anything. It helps us get clout in the space that we're operating in so deftly for so many years. If you want to do a little something extra, you can support us monetarily by subscribing to our Patreon, where for less than $1 per week, you can gain access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, and peace of mind, knowing that you did everything you can to help us to continue to succeed. And again, thank you to everyone who supports us monetarily. You make it so that we're able to do things we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. I mean, Roots, here I am, you know, in a situation where I'm, you know, transitioning to another job. Money's tight, but still, when the time comes, I'm dropping, you know, $50 on games just to cover on one episode. And the only reason I was able to do that is because people donate. And I didn't buy a high on life to stream this past week. All of you bought it so that I could stream it. And we appreciate your support.
Right. And that people don't realize that. That was one of the things that we said from the very beginning. We put everything back into the show. You know.
That's right.
Whatever.
Every cent.
Yep, every cent. So that's just what we decided to do.
You've never bought me. You people have never bought me a cup of coffee or a cheeseburger, but you've bought me tons of games. You bought Roots a headset. Yeah. Bought me a plane ticket once. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
you guys
again,
are awesome.
Thank you to everyone.
Yep. And if you can't,
thank you.
And if you don't contribute and can't contribute, there's all those other ways. Like you said, subscribing, liking the video, and then joining the Discord and
sharing.
You know.
Yeah. Sharing with your friends, sharing on social media, or as Roots so deftly pointed out, you could join us on Discord. That's absolutely free to join us on our Discord, and it's where we hang out 24/7, 365, lurking. People talking about everything. I'd say it's about 50-50 VR talk to other stuff on there, right?
Yep, absolutely. And we're actually about to go hang out in a different Discord to play this grip, right? But I can't post this other person's Discord in the ether out in the video, but I am going to post it in our Discord for people to come play grip with us, right? Right after the show, about 15-20 minutes after the show.
Yeah, and if you want to play, last I saw it was on sale for like $4 or something. It's always really cheap on sale, and it's a great VR racer. So if you have PC VR and you want to participate, here's your chance.
Yeah, grip VR PC cheap. Yeah, I'm just gonna post it. Or actually, is it on? What's it cost on Steam? Oh, it's on. Yeah, it's on sale on Steam. Well, maybe not. It's like $30.
Oh, is it? It was on sale on Steam. Hold on, I'll find a cheap link and drop it in the chat right now.
Yeah. But anyway, so Grip is an amazing VR racer, and make sure you have your VR legs because you're going to be flipping around. The whole premise is whatever surface your tires touch, you're going to go start driving on it, whether it be the ceiling or whatever. So it's just amazing. And you're going to get your ass kicked by Scion VR and Spry Guy because they rock. So.
There's a link in the chat. $2.
$2. Holy shit. Yeah. That's, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. It's an amazing game. Definitely worth it. We haven't gone in as a community for a long time, but we used to go all the time. Even the campaign, it's got an amazing campaign as well. And the courses look phenomenal. It's an amazing game in VR.
Yeah. A lot of content, high quality, and awesome in VR.
Yep. and we're grip salesmen now.
VR Spry Guy asked, did I finally get a new mouse? I did.
Oh my God.
There was an episode 6 weeks ago, where Guido left like $20 tip and said that was for my new mouse. I went immediately after that and bought a new mouse. So
how you been enjoying it?
We're all good. The scroll wheel works.
Oh, dude.
It's awesome.
There's nothing worse than a scroll wheel that doesn't work. You need to get one like this, Wes, though, for when you do flat gaming. You got all these buttons here. And this
hurts my head just to think about it.
This actually pops off, and it's got multiple ones. It snaps on. You can like 3 different variations. It's pretty cool.
If I had that mouse, I would never use it, Roots.
See, I use it for everything. Even when I went into V Rising the other day to play a little bit, just to check it out. They've got a mod that lets you look at it from a first-person view or whatever, instead of top-down. And all of my buttons are still saved in there. And I was like, it was cool.
It's cool. Yeah, I saw you going in there a couple times, actually.
Yeah, that game's cool.
Wolveraza with the $2 US says more for the pile. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. And Samson143VR, also with the $2 US donation, says leave a comment after the show for the algorithm. And that's true. Roots, I meant to start this week with the
comments,
reading comments.
Oh yeah.
Again, because we're battling against the evil YouTube algorithm. We don't keep our videos down to less than 20 minutes. We don't do mouth gape thumbnails. Although I am going to go ahead and spoil it now. Next week on this very show, we are going to be doing an advertisement. Not the type of ad that you're thinking, but it is paid, sponsored. It's a giveaway. It's going to be a sponsored giveaway that we're going to be doing to promote something. And we wrangled back and forth a bit about whether or not we should take the money for it. But at the end of the day, it's a game that we already believe in, and we've already said about as many good things about this game as we possibly can. It's a game we love. And tune in next week to find out what that's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, I think that's our show for this week. And with that said, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you in 7 days. Bye.
Take it easy.